Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Yes, we are here for another season of European Racing Series. It's good to be back, everybody, and we are here for the first test race of Season 7 here in Canada. I'm commentating Lobby 2 tonight. There's 3 lobbies taking place, and this is, by far, I think, we got some good drivers in this lobby. A majority of them I have never heard of in my life. I've only heard of a few people, but, you know, it's better than nothing, eh? So, a bit of a fact about Canada. It has played host to Canadian Grand Prix since 1978. The year when the man who the track was named after actually won the event, Gilles Villeneuve. It's a circuit that is a fan, a commentator, and driver favourite alike, with many great races to remember. Who could forget 2011, where we saw Jenson Button overtake Sebastian Vettel on the final lap in 2011 to win one of the greatest races of all time. Unfortunately, we're not going to see any rain because since we have 3 test races, obviously we have one this week, one next week, and one the week after, we want to judge the pace fairly, so that is why we've gone for clear weather and reduced damage here tonight. My name is Jess, I'm one of your commentators, and I'm about to follow someone that is on a lap. So I'm actually going to follow someone who's going to be the quickest start lap. Maybe let's follow the new black livery, which just came out today with a new patch. Oh my god, I'm already in love with it already. I hope you guys are as well. So here we go. We're grinding on board with Set, who was in Tier 2 last season. So now you're going to go towards turn 1. The first, it comes really quickly. Right after the kink, you'll be arriving almost 200 miles per hour. And then turn 2 follow immediately after the tyre line. And you need to be down to second gear on this one. And then stay in 5th for this bit. And then you got to be careful not to hit the wall almost there as well. But luckily he didn't do that. Sector 1, not too bad. A 19 for him. As he only got one ERS mode to worry about. Because obviously there is only a few modes you can have in qualifying. Obviously 0, 1 and 2. And then in the race, it's just one mode, and then obviously the overtake mode. So the drivers have got to think on their feet more. For some drivers, it's some people's first league race on the actual game. So should be interesting there. Just to let you know that I won't be saying followers in the chat. I'll be doing it straight after the stream. Set is interestingly enough getting slipstream from the car in front. I don't think the car in front wants to do that, but probably Set is going to thank him anyway as he comes across the line. So he goes to 7th gear now, 8th gear. Let's see what lap he can do. It's a 109.7, which puts him in P2. The current pole time at the moment is set by Pasek, the first person to get into the 108, which is a brilliant lap time from him. Now, it's most likely today that we are going to go for the 2-stop, because when I was racing around Canada, the undercut is just so powerful around here. And obviously, it's one of the shortest pit stops on the calendar. I think Zandvoort's another short one as well. I'm not entirely sure, but Canada is one of the shortest on the calendar. So that means they got to think on their feet a little bit more. Itaro and Evo, I think that's how you say it, is on the mediums. So that's interesting. But I guess he just wants to get a little bit of a feel for the track a bit more. And I'm surprised less people on the mediums to get a feel for the track. I'm guessing they just want to get a lap sorted straight away, maybe, perhaps. So that's what it is. So let's go through the drivers, actually. So in a Mercedes, we have Set and Duxie B. In the McLaren, we have TX606 and Joshua 402. In the Ferrari, we have Skillzone. I think that's the only Ferrari out there on track today. In the Racing Point, we have Pasek and we have Sigo, who are both going into the pits right now, so they're going to have a little bit of a hold up. In the Williams, we have Aluminium. What a name. What a name. In the Alfa Romeos, we have Black Apollo X and Sir Tidy. In the AlphaTauri, we have Hey It's Spike. In the Red Bulls, we have Eterian Nuro, I can't say it, and Nixana. Nixana is in the pits. In the Renault, we have Brian and Single Handed. I know I've seen quite a few Brian fans in the chat. And in the other AlphaTauri, I'm trying to go on board with him, but it won't let me. It's Burke. I'm just going to call him Bert, okay? Hope that's all right. Fingers crossed. And yeah, that's all the drivers. If I missed someone, I'm sorry. But a few things to watch out for in this game. One other, as well as the ERS being changed as well, the tyre wear is a very different kettle of fish. These drivers have got to think a lot more about their tyre temperatures. It kind of reminds me of F1 2018, where obviously tyre temperatures first came into play on this game. And when I first adapted to it, it was so hard. But luckily, I actually started league racing when it actually got a bit more tricky. Well, less tricky, I mean. So I was quite lucky. But now it's got even harder. You can't just throw it in a corner and expect to be quick. Your tyres are going to have a little bit of a kick in the boot otherwise, to be honest. So if I were the likes of Paddock, maybe starting P1 won't be as bad, but P2 around here, especially around Canada, is going to get some lovely slipstream. So he's more than likely that whoever's starting in P2 is going to have the better entry into Turn 1 and 2. But we'll never know unless we see these guys out on track at the moment. Everyone else is going on their outlaps at the moment, so we'll be keeping an eye on pace. Obviously, in the European Racing Series, all drivers that are signed up were asked to complete 2 time trial laps. I'll need to double check which ones they were, but I'll need to make sure about that. Ben says, how do you get into the European Racing Series? Sign-up's already closed, but I think if you wait just a little bit, sign-ups will open shortly for reserve drivers. So make sure you keep an eye out on that. If someone could remind me what the time trial tracks were, that would be amazing. And we've got one of the alphas on his outlap as well. He's invalidated, but luckily it's just his outlap anyway, so he doesn't need to worry. So we've got a few people. I'll just follow Brian as he comes out of the pits, but we'll go through the calendar for you. So as well as the first test race here in Canada, we got another test race next Tuesday in Belgium. And then we got a test race on the 11th of August around the Netherlands, around the new track on the game, where they had their social race a couple of weeks ago. I think it was either the first week or the second week on the new game was where they had it. So it's basically following a majority, well, it's pretty much following the whole calendar really. So the first round starts on the 18th of August around Australia. Then we go to Bahrain. After that, then we go to Vietnam, China, Netherlands, Spain, Monaco, Azerbaijan, Canada, France, Austria, Great Britain, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Russia, Japan, United States, Mexico City, Brazil, and then finally ending in Abu Dhabi on the 19th of January in 2021. So quite a few people are in the 110s, but times are a lot closer than I thought because it is a mixed ability grid. They've been put into lobbies randomly, first come, first serve. And, you know, it's a bit closer than I thought it was going to be. And we may see a majority of these guys, if that's the case, we may see a majority of these guys in a similar tier as well. Amcast are coming in with a cheeky subscription for 13 months. That's crazy. A full year. I think one of the first person to do a full year. So thank you to Roundcaster for that. And I think quite a few people are actually going into the pits now, actually, as well. I'll need to double check as well if safety car is on. I think it is. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll double check. But I won't be surprised if it isn't, because obviously they want to keep an eye on people's true pace, really, as TX has left the session. I'm a bit worried because he's the host, so I think... Actually, no, Set's the host, not TX. And there we go. I was getting a bit confused there, but there we go. So, corners to watch out for. Obviously, there's a few DRS straights. One, I just need to actually get my track map up. If I get that up very quickly. There we go. So, obviously, the first DRS straight, you're heading towards, obviously, turn 1 and 2. And then there's, obviously, the DRS straight heading near towards turn 4 and 5 is where the next DRS zone is. And No, just after that, actually. Just after that, between turn 5 and 7. That's it. I'm getting the corner names mixed up. It is hard. I'm looking at that, but there we go. So, obviously, there's 3. Obviously, some tracks have 2. So, obviously, there's one at the back straight as well, where we see probably a lot of toe. Maybe we'll see a little bit of teammate help in today's race. Other tracks where we probably will see that is Monza as well. And it's going to be a long time before we see that, because obviously Monza is almost halfway through the season. So, something to watch out for there. And let's see how Joshua does at the moment. He's currently sitting 12th fastest at the moment. I do believe he's one of the new drivers as he goes into the pits now, actually. Anyone else on a lap that we can follow? Skill Zone. Nope, Skill Zone has just invalidated his lap. I'm starting to get a little bit of a curse, because usually when I commentate on hot laps, it doesn't matter what league it is. I just get really bad luck. But I commentated on 1, so that's better than nothing. Now, Seth has got a little bit of a point to prove, because obviously he was in Tier 2 last season, as well as TX as well. TX got a win, well, a win that I wasn't even expecting last season in Season 6, and to be honest, I was quite proud of him. Obviously, we got Duxie B as well, who was also in Tier 2 for a little bit for the last half of the season. He did quite well in Belgium, I believe, as well. Obviously, Belgium was... If you haven't watched Belgium yet on my Twitch channel or even on my YouTube channel, make sure you check it out, because the race was absolutely crazy. And there was a safety car right at the end. There was changing weather conditions as well, so we didn't know when the weather was going to change, what the best strategy was. It got me guessing as a commentator, and obviously that's the most important thing. And we may see changing conditions like this in some of these races in the season, and obviously the drivers have got to be wary of it and take their gut feeling and be smart about it. But obviously they won't have to do it tonight, because obviously it's about pace and not weather, to make sure it's an easy thing to look on. Obviously it'll be interesting to see how the other times fare in the other lobbies, obviously in Lobby 1 and in Lobby 3. I wonder if we could see some faster times. Could we see someone into the 107s? I know we've seen some esports drivers in the 107s, but you never know, we may see some of the fast guys in the 107s. Now, just quick reminder, Tier 1 is no assist at all, whereas Tier 2 have all assists apart from braking assist, and obviously ERS assist, fuel assist, and DRS assist. So, as Burke has actually gone fastest, actually, with a 1 at 8.7, so pretty good lap time from him. And then Pasic just says, if anything you can do, I could do better. And there we go. It is a 1:08.6. And Captain Grim says, the lobbies are fast. Yes, they are around Canada. I can't even do a 1:08 around here. The fastest I can do around here is a 1:10. So it's not really that fast at all. Well, my lap's not even fast at all. It's just these drivers put in so much effort. Like, I've seen on the ERS Discord earlier on today, there was a lot of drivers actually putting in some practice sessions together, some practice lobbies as well, just to make sure that they get some good enough lap-ins to make sure that they are put in the right tier. And I think there's going to be enough sign-ups for 4 tiers this season, which is amazing. I can't believe how far we've grown as well. So it's great to see, of course. And obviously, in this test race, the drivers are also allowed open setup as well, so they could run whatever win they want. They can run obviously whatever brake bias they want, tyre pressure and stuff like that. And that's another thing that they changed on this game, tyre pressure. You can change tyre pressures on all 4 tyres now, and to be honest, I don't know what to think. I feel like it's a bit harder for like a new player to get to grasp with, but obviously, if you're a bit more experienced, it may want to challenge you. So, in a way, if you play around with the tyre pressure settings well enough, then it could really help you in the race. The tyres won't wear out as much. The tyre temperatures won't be as bad as well. So, you know, it's something interesting to think about. And obviously, it's the second year where ballast has completely gone from these cars. And something that most of these drivers are used to now, including me. Now, I used to league race as TX cut the corner there. I don't think he was meant to do that, but there we go. But Aluminium comes across the line now, and I do believe he's invalidated. Yes, he has, but it would have been a slower lap time anyway. It would have been a 1:12. Captain Grim says, is this practice or the actual race? This is the actual test race, Captain Grim. This is based, each of the drivers who are signed up for European Racing Series have to take part in at least one test race. Obviously, they can take part in as many as they like if obviously everyone has signed up in time. But, you know, as long as they take part in at least one, then it should judge them accurately enough based on their abilities. So they obviously judge based on their qualifying and race. Now, according to inside sources from the Ted Graphics in the chat, aka Mr. Lancaster, the fastest pole time in Lobby 1 at the moment is a 108.0 set by Azir. Now, believe it or not, I can't actually believe I'm saying this, Azir is now admin in ERS. Now, obviously we joked about it in the Discord chat last season. He even put, he spelled admin wrong with tier 7, but he's actually an admin now. I'm not even joking. I think he was announced earlier on as well. So, well done to him anyway. And he's already polling Lobby 1. I wonder if he can keep it there. Now it was Bottascan that was pole. Well, I could see if Bottascan will fall against tier 1 next season. But it's nice to see Azir's not that far, actually. But yes, we only got 45 seconds to go, as the last few people are about to cross the line. And I wonder if we were going to have any bets on whether if I'm going to end up calling AlphaTauri the old name. Luckily I haven't, and the thing that's helping me is obviously they have the AlphaTauri thing on the Halo. So that's what's been helping me at the moment. So I haven't said it wrong yet. I think I called Racing Point Force India more times. Obviously last year when obviously it was called Racing Point instead of Force India. So can only people from Europe participate? No, I think we've seen people from other countries as well take part as well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We've got Fervel in the chat as well, who also raced last season. I do believe he's either racing tonight or he's either racing next week. Unless he's taking part, of course. As Aluminium comes across the line in third, we've got a few more people crossing the line. TX, he's got one more lap actually. He's just crossed the line in time, but he's got a little bit of traffic, so that's not going to help him. We got an AlphaTauri going across the line now. That's Spike almost hitting the wall of champions there. Let's see what he can do. It is a 109.5. That puts him in 9th place. Next to come across the line is an AlphaTauri of Sir Tidy. That puts him in 10th place. Then we got Ferrari of Skillzone. That puts him in P6. And then next to across the line is one of the Red Bulls. It's not Nixana. It's Eterinovo, which I can't really pronounce. And he comes across the line in last place at the moment. Nixana, his teammate, comes across the line now. He's improved quite a bit in Sector 2. It's a 108.6. That puts him P2. And all that's left now is TX and Duxie B to set their final lap times. TX was looking quick, so I wonder if he's going to beat the pole time. No, he is not. He invalidated in the final corner. It is quite common to obviously invalidate in the final corner. I think it's just Duxie B on a lap, but he's just going to the pits right now. So that's it then for qualifying. And your pole man is Pazik in the Racing Point. This man here. You know, obviously the Racing Point is quite fast in real life, and it's obviously fast in the game as well. And obviously for all the test races tonight, and obviously next week and the week after, the cars that they've got are basically first come, first serve. As we're just waiting for Josh to retire so we can get the race underway. And it is a 50% race, and they are flexible in what strategy they can have. As Sigo has left the session, that is not good, so hopefully he can come back pretty soon as well. Quite a few people retiring from the session. I'm not sure what we're waiting for actually. Oh. Okay, I think we've got a bit of a glitch with single-handed. Is he still going on my screen? Or it might have been a bit of a timing glitch. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see if his lap is there anyway. Nope, he's going into the pits. Life is good. Obviously, I didn't see him. I thought that it was just one person in the pits, but obviously not. Captain Grim says it's going to be good with so many close times. Yes, it is. If I just look at the times set now, the top 10, well, the top 11 are separated by just 1 second. And obviously top 14 separated by 1.1. It's just absolutely crazy. So it's really great to see. So I wonder how that's going to play out. Sigo has just joined in just in time. Brilliant news. I'm happy about that. So let's go through your standings. So Pazik on pole by just 7 thousandths of a second to Nixana. Closest I've seen in a while, actually. Then look between P2 and P3 as well. That's even closer. Then we have Burke in a P4, Aluminium in P5, TX in P6, Skillzone in P7, Sigo in P8, Black Apollo X in 9th. We got Hayes Spike in 10th place. Then we got Satadi in 11th, Duxie B in 12th, Joshua 402 in 13th, Brian in 14th, Single_handed in P15. I'm just going to call him Itair in P16, and Rage Quit, I believe, did not set a lap time. So, who's ready for the race to begin? Who is ready for the first race of European Racing Series? Don't forget you can check out Lobby 1 as well by going on to Raggy's Twitch. Not sure about Lobby 3 though. I'll need to double check on that as well. Obviously a clear dry race today, because obviously, as we said earlier on in the stream, that is going to be clear weather and reduced damage. So hopefully we're not going to see many incidents in the Wall of Champions. But if they hit the Wall of Champions, it's going to be less bad if it was on than what it was on, obviously, full or simulation damage. I did a 50% race around Canada, and it was simulation damage on F1 2019. And I retired, I think it was about lap 28 or something. And guess what? I binned it. Wall of Champions, and it caused a safety car. So it was absolutely crazy. And ghosting was off as well. And for those of you new to my streams, look at this. We've got the predicted pit stop strategy. That's absolutely brilliant. And it only just popped up just a little bit for me, so I wasn't able to see it. I wish it could pop out for a little bit longer, but there we go. So it is most likely going to be a 2-stop, either soft, soft, mediums, or soft, medium, hard. Lap 9 to 11 for the first stop, and I couldn't catch what it was for the second stop. If I were them, I would either do soft, medium, soft, or soft, soft, medium. Probably soft, medium, soft would be the best way to go, because obviously you'll be faster at the first part of the race and you'll be faster towards the end. And some people may be playing their cards right and maybe playing it with a safety car. Hash says, wonder if the Wall of Champions is still buzzed on 2020. Well, there's only one way to find out, Hash. And we're going to find out right now with this 35-lap race, I wonder. Now, don't get me started about the walls in Singapore. I wonder if they got that fixed in F1 2020. We'll have to find out. Let us know your predictions in the chat, guys, on who you think is going to do well. So lap 21 to 28 would be a potential if it was soft, medium, medium. So different strategies are popping up on my screen. Left, right and centre. All the drivers are going to make their way onto the grid. I think no one has invalidated their laps, which is impressive. So well done to all the drivers. Captain Grim said, I'm going to say Pazik will stay P1. Oh, that's a good prediction, I must say. I wonder if he's had the pressure of him being in P1 before. So that's going to be interesting, because usually when I'm P1, I bottle it, because the pressure always gets to me. So basically, you just got to pretend that you're near the back, and it really does help you. So here come the 5 red lights here in Canada for European Racing Series. And we are underway, and it's a pretty decent start from Pazik actually going through towards turn 1. And we got the refresh glitch at the moment, so we're not able to see the times as of yet. But we got a few swervy bits into turn 1, but so far everybody making it clean. But so far it's Pazik leads from Nixana in at P2 and from TX in at P3, and obviously the AlphaTauri of Burke in P4, which is great to see. And it is PC, by the way, for those of you that are wondering. Luckily the timings have refreshed just in time. It's great to see. Already a few people making moves already, as Saigo is going to try and make his way past Duxie B with his overtake button pretty soon as well. This tight little hairpin coming up and into the wall there, and I think they're going to stay put at the moment. A good mixture of strategies that we're seeing so far. Duxie B, the only person inside the top 10 to start on the medium compounded tyres. Everyone else on the softs, and then we've got Satani going to try and make a move past Brian, obviously on those medium tyres, and that's absolutely brilliant that he's made that move and got that controlled. Aluminium has got past Saigo actually as well, up into P8, so quite a few changes at the moment. Single-handed has dropped down a few positions. That's a bit of a shame. He hasn't had a good start. Josh hasn't had a good start. He is dropped by a few positions as well. Rage Quit going to dive it in and try and go for a cheeky move into turn 1, and he does that with ease in the Williams, and that puts him into P14. How long do soft tires last compared to mediums? Now, lap 8 is the optimum place where obviously people is going to pit, and someone's binned it. It's our race leader. Oh, Pazik in the racing point. That is not what you want. You can tell that the pressure has got to him right now in the racing point. I mean, you know, I probably jinxed him there. So I do apologise about the jinxing. I told you I need to stop jinxing, which means that Nixana is your race leader at the moment, but with TX not that far behind. And obviously the DRS is going to be enabled pretty soon in the next lap. So this is where they can gain full power. Maybe some of these guys will be saving up most of their overtake right now for this. And just like TX has done, is going to do this. And he's already sent the fast lap of the session then. So he's already faster than Nixana. Now, 13 laps I would say they last the softs before it goes to punchy territory. But lap 8 to 11 is the pit window. And this is tier 1 or tier 2. They haven't been placed in tiers yet, Captain Grim. These are lobbies which were put at random, and it's going to help them decide where all these ERS drivers gets placed for this coming season. So obviously there's 3 lobbies running tonight. We obviously can't get all 60 drivers in one lobby, so that's the best to do it. And Brian has lost positions as well, both from Satani and Etana, and Hey, it's Spiked has also dropped a bit. He's lost a bit of pace as well, so that's a bit of a shame. And Set has not done well either. So let's look at the position gains at the moment. So I've got to say, as Nixana's got a bit of damage, I think, from the Wall of Champions. So that's not helped him. I think assists are on, obviously, because it is mixed ability. But, yeah, Nixana, I think that might cost him time. So I have a feeling this could be TX's opportunity to really gain on Nixana this lap. Potentially in the next DRS zone. TX has also got plenty of ERS as well. So he is really going to have a lot of the benefit. And Nixana, he must be feeling pretty wide, and apologies about that. I was just getting myself a quick drink, because obviously commentating on my own obviously dries up your throat a little bit at the moment. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course. Let's see if there's any other battles happening in the midfield, because obviously I want to try and capture majority of the midfield as possible. Now heading towards turn 9 and 10, and we got a yellow flag. That is Hey, it's Spike. Where did he bid it? Let me check the track map. I think it was turn 8. Yes, turn 8, I think. So then heading in towards turn 9 and turn 10. That is a shame for him. Quite a few people making careless mistakes, but obviously for some of these guys, they may have a few more chances to do a few more test races if they feel that they haven't proven their worth as of yet. So, you know, and it's far from over But the guys up front, they are going to be glad that they are where they are. Another yellow flag, which I think belongs, I think it might be in a Renault or something. I'm not entirely sure, but we are going to concentrate with this battle up front between these lot. Because of the DRS train, it's going to be so hard for the likes of TX and Bert to get past. Well, Bert's going to find it even harder because obviously TX has got the DRS from Nixana. And obviously we are starting to get penalties left, right and centre because obviously Skill Zone has got a penalty. Satadi, I think, has just got his second penalty. And track limits, I believe, are on strict. So, and I have noticed that on some tracks on this game, the corner cutting on strict is even stricter than the last game. So they've got to be more wary as TX makes a brilliant dive up the inside. Oh, contact from Nixana and TX. That is not what TX wanted, and he reset the track. I don't think he's allowed to do that, but TX is not going to be happy with that whatsoever. That drops him down into P7 on the circuit. And he's got Duxie B in the new black Mercedes livery. Going to dive it in around the shortest line possible as well. Actually, Duxie B, it's taking the shortest line possible there into turn 3. And obviously a few people were going into the grass a little bit there, but that hasn't costed a little bit of time. So that is good news. I wonder if Nixana will go to the pits after that. And due to those two colliding with each other, that means that Burke is now your race leader. And he's 7 tenths behind. Maybe he will have a chance to maybe turn up the engine mode a little bit because he's got plenty of ERS mode to use. So what if I would do is use a bit of overtake on the DRS straight, try and defend off Nixana, and then he won't get DRS, and that'll be really beneficial for you, and it can help you in the pit stops. Now, we could see people pitting in the next couple of laps if they are planning to do a 2-stop race here this evening. So do watch out. I will keep an eye on that as well. Seth not having a good day in the office. He's dropped down 10 positions right now. And speaking of pits, obviously TX had to pit due to his front wing change. But he can go on the mediums and possibly do a soft medium strategy or a soft medium hard strategy. So the race is far from over for the McLaren driver, but you know, he is going to hope that the rest of his race doesn't go from bad to worse. Obviously all these drivers have been encouraged to keep going, of course, so hopefully that these guys will watch out a little bit even more closely right now. But he's eating a little bit more time into Nixana. 7 tenths now. He could be getting into 8 tenths at the moment. Yes, he is as well. So, obviously, Nixana is going to close in a little bit more because, obviously, he has DRS. And I think he hit the detection point at the right time, actually. Skill Zone doesn't have any DRS, but Aluminium does. So, again, Aluminium's going to have the same thing as them. But, obviously, a few people had to respond to TX, even though TX had damage. I think, obviously, Nixana, let's see if he's got damage. No, Nixana does not have damage then. Aluminium goes into the pit lane. So let's see, he's in the Nicholas and the Tiffy car at the moment. So Aluminium goes out onto the medium tyres, as do most of these guys, actually. So let me just have a look at these tyres strategies. Now, for some of these guys, they've been already on the medium, so, and obviously because of the tyre glitch on the game, that's what it is. It's almost going to be 4 wide here, in and 2, just before the DRS straight. There's a little bit of a look up there from Duxie B, but no harm done. And I did see our race leader actually did get a penalty as well, but he's got a comfortable gap at the moment, but he's got to worry for the likes of Sigo that could be catching up pretty soon. Now, Bert, if I was Bert right now, if I was thinking in his shoes right now in the cockpit, obviously I would think about pitting. People know that the undercut is powerful, and he's staying out. He's staying out. The more that he's staying out on his lap, the more time he's going to lose to the likes of Nixana. And the gap, I think the pit lane loss is only about 14 to 16 seconds. So if I do gap to leader, it's 15 seconds already. And Nixana has already got past some traffic. So obviously a few other guys are going into the pit as well. So Nick Zana, he must be loving life at the moment. If he could close in by like a second or even 2 seconds, then he'll be your race leader and overcut Burke. Well, undercut Burke. What are you on about? Sorry for getting, obviously, my words mixed up today, but there we go. As Burt now, he's got a lot of thinking to do as well. But here comes Rage Quit and Sir Tidy. Sir Tidy on the medium tyres. Rage Quit was on the medium tyres, I think, since the very beginning as well. So they're on the same strategy, of course. But here comes Duxie B. And Duxie B went in a little bit too deep, and he almost cut across the Williams of Rage Quit there. And it's great to see, obviously, Pazix making his way up at the moment. Is Burt going to come in? Nope, he's not. He's staying out for another lap. I wonder if we are going to get into puncher territory here. Obviously, for some of these guys, they have been practicing, and obviously you can tell if these guys have been practicing or not. Another bit of a lock-up from Burt, so you can tell that the tyres are a little bit too overheating at the moment. I wonder what the tyre wear is. I honestly wish we can see the tyre wear, but obviously we can't. As Sigo has got a 3-second time penalty, Black Apollo has got a 3-second time penalty as well, as we're approaching lap 11. Single-handed in last place, going for his first stop on the mediums, and he's overtaken Brian and Spite just out of the pits there, so great to see. And Nick Zana has got ahead by... Nope. Obviously, Burt's got to come in. He's got the pit warning light on. No, it's Jeff. You can tell with the pit warning, obviously, because it's blue. You can almost tell that Jeff is ready to box him. Obviously, I wonder if Burke has forgotten. And the gap is starting to close in between Burke and Nick Zana. 13.2 seconds. Obviously, you can see the top 5 now on this game. So, I wonder if Burke is watching out for Nick Zana's delta. And if he realises that the gap is not enough, he's going to be thinking, oh God, what have I done? And Nick Zana is going to be thinking, oh yes, I might have done the right thing here. Goody. And he's not going to be happy with a 3-second time penalty, which is going to be added to the end of the race. And the pit entry, I'm surprised he hasn't caught that many people out right now. Because obviously the pit entry is quite short. Obviously in Silverstone it's quite short as well. And I know in Silverstone I've got caught out with the 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And obviously due to the strict corner cut, it could happen. So we could see a few stop goes. Now Nick Zana's got to try and get past his teammates on a different strategy. And they got to learn, obviously, how to deal with the traffic that is going to throw at them at the moment. And obviously it's going to be a bit more challenging for Nick Zana. But never throw a challenge you can't do really for Nick Zana. Meanwhile, the next person that to pop it into the pit is Duxie B, who is on the soft. Now that is really early if he's doing a 2-stop. Extremely early, I've got to say. I mean, I was not expecting him to pit then. Maybe obviously he's trying to do longer stints, maybe 10 laps on the soft potentially. Or maybe do medium, soft, medium potentially. But that could be the slowest strategy. That's a good thing I like about a calendar. It's one of those tracks where you could do a mixture of strategies. And it's faster with a 2-stop. Obviously, some of these tracks on the F1 2020 game now could be faster with a 2-stop. Maybe Austria can potentially as well. Gap between first and second now, 10.6 seconds. Is Burke going to go into the pits? No, he is not. I think Burke is trying to get those soft tyres going as long as they possibly can. But if I was him right now, if I was racing, obviously, in his car, then obviously I would be in puncher territory right now. But there might be a method to his madness. Obviously, with if if obviously there was dynamic weather, it could show us a sign that the weather could be changing. But obviously since it's clear weather, there's no point being on the soft tyres for 2 laps. Meanwhile, his teammate not doing so good at the moment. Obviously, Spike is down in P16 as we got a few people that's dropped positions. Or it might be a D-Sync, I'm not entirely sure. But we got Rage Quit that's up into P5 at the moment. Obviously, he's still yet to make his first stop. Aluminium still tucked to the back of Iter. Obviously, Aluminium on fresher mediums than Iter. Now, someone wants to ask about the fastest lap, but before I ask that, Grim, let's see if Aluminium made the move. Yes, he did. He even did it before he got to the penultimate corner. That is great to see. And someone's going into the pit. Actually, it is Iter going for his first stop. So the ones who pitted for the softs, it may not be as early as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I was overestimating a little bit. Maybe I was over-analysing it a little bit, potentially. But you never know around Canada. I wish I can play the Canada National Anthem, but I can't, because obviously due to copyright issues. So Iter is going to come out ahead of Josh 402 in the McLaren. And he's going to be even faster than him. And obviously he's going to be even faster than Set as well. So obviously Iter is only 1.4 seconds behind Set. But obviously the more these guys are stuck in the battle, the more their tyre wear is going to come into effect. And the more their tyre temperature is going to come into effect as well. So hopefully they don't get involved in many spins. Because I found that in an open lobby today, that obviously if you spin too much on this game, and if you get caught out more times than not, then it does affect your tyre temperature. So finally, here comes Berg after the end of lap 13. Goes into the pits. Actually, end of lap 14. So he's on the medium. Nixana's already ahead of him. And you can see the difference between these guys. He has had not the best pit stops, not the best strategic call right now. And that's cost him a few positions. Imagine if he pitted a lap later or a lap earlier than Nixana. He would have been at a much different story right now. Probably he would be still leading this race. And that is something that we got to think about. But we won't know if he tried that. And we won't know if that succeeded. But we'll have to wait and see. So, someone asked me, someone in the chat has asked me to put fastest lap. And the fastest lap at the moment is set by Set, which is a 1:11.6. And Iter has got a 3-second time penalty. Another one. I'm sure he's got more added to the kitty as well. So that's a bit of a shame. Right now, most of these guys are doing very, very well, actually. So I'm very, very impressed with how these guys are doing. As Black Apollo X getting a 3-second time penalty right now as well. So I will do a little bit of a penalty update, I think, towards the end of the race. As Rage Quit goes into the pits. Oh, he's doing mediums to hards. As Duxie B's out. Well, where did he retire? I think he might have retired in the pit lane. Let's follow Spike. Yes, he did retire in the pit lane. So I'm guessing something might have happened to him. Obviously earlier on that we didn't know about. And obviously his AI is still going around the circuit right now. So let's change the gap back to interval again. So that was why obviously that didn't cause a safety car. Now, one person to point out who is doing quite well is Aluminium. He's in second place. Let me just check where he started actually. He started in 5th place. And he's now in 2nd. He's gained 3 positions. And he could potentially be on for a potential move into turn 1. And good to see some familiar faces in the chat. Hello, Dirt Chocolate. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? And I think I won't be surprised if Aluminium's lap times are significantly faster. Let me just have a quick look, actually. So Nixana's last lap, oh, he's got quite a few penalties, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. Jesus Christ. His last lap was a 1:13.2. Spike's left the session. Aluminium's lap time is a 1:13.1. So they're pretty much even on pace at the moment. Obviously, Aluminium on less penalties. Wow. Thanks for the raid, Captain Priceless. I was not expecting that. Hello, everybody, from Captain Priceless stream. Sorry if the alerts are not popping up at the moment. I've got it disabled at the moment. Those of you that are wondering, this is a league that I'm commentating. Obviously, European Racing Series is doing their test races, and this is the second lobby tonight. Obviously, there are 3 lobbies happening, and I'm commentating on the second one. I'll be doing my team in about half an hour. It depends when this race finishes. And obviously we've got 16 drivers that are in this lobby. So we have got, and also thanks for the follows, guys. I will get the alerts up for the follows after the commentary. But Pazik, I'm glad he's making his way up there. Maybe his early pit stop has not costed him. If I was him, maybe for Pazik to go for a little bit more of a conservative strategy for him, as Brian has got a 3-second time penalty. Nixana, I won't be surprised if quite a few more people would be on the time penalties right now. I wonder who is going to be squeaky clean. I won't be surprised if it's no one. I've never been squeaky clean around Canada. Never. So I wonder what these guys are. Now, we got to watch out for the ERS factory happening right now as Pazik breezes past Skill Zone. You can absolutely see that Pazik is even quicker. So Pazik goes just past the wall of champions there, and he's up into P4 as well. Skill Zone just dropping just a little bit. Aluminium getting closer to Nixana, but again, he's just not quick enough to get past Nixana at the moment, which is a bit of a shame right now, but he's going to do all he can in the Williams. Obviously, the Williams, one of my favourite liveries on this game with the AlphaTauri. Obviously, they introduced a new black Mercedes livery. And for those of you that just joined, I want to see the Mercedes livery in the flesh. We've got a yellow flag, actually, so let's see that first. It's Skill Zone that spinned it at a very awkward corner. Oh, luckily he's ghosted, because otherwise that would have been even more damage. But I think it would have costed a little bit to his front wing at the moment. So that is a bit of a shame. That's dropped him down into 11th place right now. But if you want to see the black Mercedes in full flesh, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Here's the black Mercedes. Looks pretty darn awesome. And I like the helmet that goes with it as well. Just look at it. Just look at it. It's amazing. One of my favourite liveries on this game, as well as the Williams. Meanwhile, the 2 racing points are fighting for position now. Hopefully, we won't see a Ocon versus Perez moment. We've seen that quite a few times in modern days. Obviously, it's Stroll and Perez this season. Single-handed, got a 3-second time penalty as well. And Skill Zone has been forced to make his next pit stop. And let me just check what tyres he has gone on. Let me just check a minute. He's onto the hard compound tyres. I'm seeing quite a few people getting a few warnings here, actually. So that is something to be wary of as well. And just let us know if you're excited about the Black Merc in chat as well. And if you're in a league race, it's going to be popular to try and get. But here we go. Aluminium. That is a fantastic move. He looks so committed. Finally, he got the job done. Nixana is on to his second stop. Now, I do believe he is going to go onto the medium tyres. And let me just see. I do believe it's mediums. Pick through. Move out of the way. Oh, Nixana's serving his 5-second stop go. And he's got front wing change as well. So he must have got damage somewhere. But I think that is going to be him till the end of the race. But he's got to conserve his tyres a little bit. So that puts Aluminium now into your race lead. But that means he can save EOS, but he wants to start pushing anyway. Another close battle that we can follow is Burke. He's made his way back up into 4th place right now. And obviously we've got Sig and Pazik as well, potentially as well. So we pretty much got a 3-way battle for 4th place. Josh and Spike have gone into the pits as well. Obviously Josh has gone on to the hard compounded tyres, and I do believe Spike is fitting on the mediums. Yeah, he is fitting onto the medium tyres. So we're going to see if Bert can just stay behind from obviously Sig and Pazik. And Aluminium onto his second stop as well. He's going to be comfortably ahead of Nixana anyway. He doesn't have any penalties to worry about. But let's watch this battle for 4th. Well, 3rd now, actually. As Pazik back in the lead. He was the one who has started on pole, of course. Obviously, thanks for the bits, by the way. Of course, much appreciated. And, by the way, ignore the 29 lap old softs. He is not on 29 lap old softs. Ignore that. It's just a glitch with the game, which hopefully that should get sorted really soon. And I'll need to check, actually, if someone has actually reported it. Because if they haven't, I'm going to report it to make sure it could get fixed. Maybe it might be a little bit of a cosmetic issue. I am not entirely sure. But we'll have to find out, of course. Now, I'm surprised that we haven't seen any BSCs or safety cars yet. But I wonder if safety cars was disabled. But we'll just have to keep an eye on it, of course. As Black Apollo gets another penalty. Sig was even closer to Pazik that lap. So he would have gone for the move there. But he's got less EOS to play with. So maybe that might have been his downfall in his race so far. Which will be a bit of a shame. Obviously, he is in the Lance Stroll car, which is, I think, a coincidence, I've got to say. Now, going into the other right-hand side here. 6/10 of a second now. Leclerc is now going into the pits, and he's on for his last stop onto the mediums, which should make it until the end of this Grand Prix. I don't know why he's using it. Well, he is trying to use overtake to defend, of course. But he's got Bert to worry about now. Here comes Bert round the inside as Sig cuts the corner there. Surely that's either a warning or a penalty. That probably is, I think. So that means Burke is now up into P2 in the AlphaTauri. Making good work of these 2 racing points. Obviously, Bert must be stuck in a racing point sandwich right now, and obviously he does not know what he's going to do with himself, which is going to be the interesting thing. Obviously you can see the sea glistening in the distance as well, and obviously the circuit has such fantastic views at the moment, and I'm just absolutely loving it. It's just great, absolutely brilliant. And we got some more moves as well, as TX has just got past Set for P4. So we're seeing more battles for P4 in this race more than anything, really. And I wonder if Set could find a little bit more ground right now. Obviously, TX and Set have been rivals, obviously, in Tier 2 last season, in Season 6. So, I wonder... I wouldn't be surprised, if, to be honest, if those two end up in, obviously, a similar tier than last season. And it'll be really great to see if they do end up like that as well. So something to bear in mind. Bit of a lock up from Set. That might not have done his tyres any good at all, really. But, you know, it's just something to bear in mind. And Pazik is in the pits. So that means Sig is in P2 at the moment and still bearing down on Bert. Now, Pazik is on for his final stop, I believe. And the reason why he was holding on for so long, because he wanted to do his final stint on the soft compounded tyres. So to be honest, if I was racing in this league right now, that was the strategy I would have done. I would have gone onto the soft compounded tyres. That is a thing that would have set me apart. And to be honest, it's a faster tyre. You're going to have more grip, but you got to be wary that you have some clear air as well. So Paddock is going to hope that he could close up and not go, not be held up in any traffic. I wonder if that's what is going to be the case for the top three at the moment. Paddock come out in P5, so that's really good. Could we see the biggest comeback of the century for Paddock? That would be great to see. I love underdog stories at the moment. Sig almost going for the jump there, but I didn't know why he was going to go to the jump, as obviously he is going into the pits anyway. So let's see what tyres Sig goes on to. He goes on to the softs as well. Set does the same in the Mercedes. Aluminium, obviously, Aluminium might be showing the foot because he's doing soft medium mediums, but obviously Aluminium wanted to remain conservative. Let me get my words out. Aluminium wanted to be conservative today. Captain Grimm said, looking like Aluminium will get P1 after everyone's pitted. He will, but the people on the soft tyres, especially Paddock, will be catching up like a hawk. But it does depend on whether Paddock says faster lap times on the softs. We've seen it in qualifying, so it could be possible. So if I was Aluminium, I would be worried. Maybe Bert will be waiting until lap 30, or maybe you could try to get it to the end. I know in the last game you can take the medium compound of tyres to around about lap 20. I think, so he could get it to the end. I think if he wants to stay in P1, I think that's what he should do. But, you know, I mean, it depends on what tyres he used. Obviously, he started on the soft, so he used different tyre compounds in the race, of course, as Set goes past Rage Quit for P6. So you can actually tell that the soft tyres are definitely the best tyre to be on right now. And like I said earlier, it's great to see a mixture of strategies. And TX has pulled off the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1 at 10.6. And you can see the arrows there as well, and a little bit of red still on the card too. And I wonder if a few people are being lapped so far. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I think the only person that's a lap down is Sir Tidy. Obviously, Brian is almost a lap down. But everybody else is pretty much on the same leading lap, which, to be honest, I am very, very impressed right now. And Joshua getting another penalty as well. I would check penalties, but Set is closing up to Sig, and they're on similar strategies. So I wonder if it's going to come down to pure driver skill, really, more than anything. Now, the new fastest laps are set on softs, yes, as far as I'm aware. So if I look at what people are setting at the moment, obviously Sig, I think, set it on the softs, so did Set. Aluminium set his fastest lap time on the mediums. And that is all I'm aware of at the moment, as far as I can see. Nixana's still on the mediums, of course, but he's had a mixed bag of a race right now. He's got involved in a few incidents, but he's got a lot to live up to. I think, to be honest, I think he'll still be proud of his result today, but knowing him, he wants to become a better driver, so I won't be surprised if he does one of the test races again next week. And obviously we got one of the Racing Points chasing him down, obviously a Mercedes as well. So I've got a question to ask in the chat. Will Burke, this guy in the AlphaTauri, make it to the end of the Grand Prix? He knows he's got Aluminium catching behind him, and he knows that Aluminium's tyres are definitely going to make it to the end. So what would you do if you were in Burke's situation? TX has got past Rage Quit again, so already Rage Quit is in danger of losing some points at the moment. And Mayo said it's going to be time saying yes. But here we go. This is a really great bow into turn 1. We got Black Apollo and TX going side by side as a little kink towards turn 2 and 3. And it looks like the TX is defending for his life at the moment as TX is up into P7. And obviously the British flags are waving at the moment. And obviously the Canadian flags as well. And obviously all other nationalities as well. Las Vegas says he doesn't think Bert will get a podium, but here we go. The answer is there. Aluminium has got past him even before the penultimate corner. So you can tell that Aluminium's tyres just had a bit more life in them. As we are about to start lap 30 of 35 of this race. I mean, Bert's going to lose so much more time. He's going to lose DRS as well to Aluminium. And Pazik is going to catch up to him sooner or later. So maybe he has shot himself in the foot. But you never know. He may prove me wrong. He may prove me wrong in the final 5 laps. And who will get fastest lap? Obviously, points are not on offer tonight. Because obviously it is a test race. So everyone here is just racing for obviously a bit of glory. So whilst we wait, let's check penalties quickly. So Aluminium's on. He's 1 warning off a penalty. So he's got to be more careful. Burke has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 penalties. Paddock has got 1, 2 penalties. Or 3 actually. Nixano's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got to be careful before he avoids disqualification. And Set has got 1, 2, 3 penalties. Saigo has got 1 penalty. TX has got a 5-second time penalty, 1 penalty. And, it has got disqualified. How did he got disqualified? Let me just have a look. So, Rage Quit just gets past, obviously, you know, we'll have to find out. But Rage Quit is out of DRS, so maybe Black Apollo could get him past him again. But yeah, let's see what happened to our disqualification driver. Ooh. So he got disqualified for too many penalties. The first I have seen on this game, as we've got another yellow flag, is one of the McLarens. No, it's skill zone. It looked like he binned it in the Wall of Champions by the looks of things. Another victim of the Wall of Champions tonight in Sebastian Vettel's car. Well, to be honest, I do hope Sebastian Vettel has another year in Formula 1. Because obviously he'll be a driver to be missed if he doesn't do another year. Aluminium getting a time penalty as well. I think most people have got penalties, so no one is going to be penalty free, which is going to be a bit of a shame, of course, but it happens. It happens. And to be honest, I've been so impressed with Pazik. He had an off early on, he had a spin, and he still fights for a podium. Obviously, he's got more penalties, but on track, he'll be fighting for a podium. That's amazing for him. Obviously, it just goes to show in this league, never, never, never give up. Never give up with this guy. Because he's doing so well. So if you are watching and thinking, oh, I might just retire because I'm doing rubbish, don't. Listen, just watch this guy. He was like near the bottom after his spin, and now he's in P3. You know, he's just forgetting about the trouble that he had earlier on as well. And he is just concentrating on the task in hand. And that's to get to the end of this race, and he's got his main sight for a podium. And it's looking likely for him. A little bit of a swerve from Pazik, so he's got to be a bit wary at the moment. The tyres could be on the sell-by date pretty soon, as we got 2 laps to go. And Aluminium still leads from Bert, but we haven't seen how the penalties obviously going to come into effect here. So, you know, we shall see if we may see a surprise winner. You never know. We may see people way down in like 5th or something get less penalties and they would win it. that's the whole beauty. Maybe Canada penalties is a little bit too strict. But we shall see. We shall see. We've only got, after this one, we've got 2 laps to go. So, it is a bit, you know, a bit risky for some of these guys with the strategies they've gone on. Luckily, they've fixed some of the tyre bugs. But for some of them, it is, because obviously it was showing 29 lap old softs earlier, but obviously that isn't the case. As penultimate lap now, already Berg's tyres is definitely past his sell-by date now. I'm just a bit worried about them at the moment. You can see that his tyres are almost starting to go, and Pazik could overtake him. Pazik could be thinking, oh, I'm faster, I just want to overtake now. You know, he's really worried at the moment. Really worried. And obviously, I don't think Nick Zana's going to get past. So, obviously Nick Zana's got more penalties. So, we could have a sprint to the finish. As Brian just gets another 3-second time penalty. As we head towards turn 10 now. The hairpin. Oh, that was a bit late on the brakes there. That cost him a little bit of time, I've got to say. As Pazik here is going towards the DRS line. Now overtake mode on. Here he comes. Breezes past him. He knows he's got the position. He's got to make sure that he can get rid of that deficit with his penalties. And then he can get the podium. It is doable for Pazik. Can he close up to aluminium in the final lap? I think it may be too little too late for Pazik. As Josh Yu has got a 3-second time penalty as well. So that is a bit of a shame for Josh Yu. Josh, I like to call him Josh Yu. Josh, there we go. Aluminium has driven so well this race. He's keeping it mind to himself at the moment in the Williams car. Obviously, you would never expect in real life to see a Williams in the top step of the podium. But obviously, we're going to get it on the game. I wonder which team's going to come out on top in the other lobbies tonight. Well, there's only one way to find out. He's only got 3 or 4 corners to go until he can class himself as a Lobby 2 champion of the test race here in Canada. He doesn't have to worry about his errors right now. He's got a comfortable gap ahead of him and behind him. As long as he doesn't have much penalties, we can safely say he comes across the line now. Aluminium wins in Canada for the test race in Lobby 2. Pazik comes across the line in P2. Burke in P3, but what about on penalties though? Nick Zana comes across the line now. Does Nick Zana have less penalties than Burke? No, he doesn't. Burke and Nick Zana's dropped off. That means we got a racing point 2-3. So both of the racing points have less penalties. So there we go. Fastest lap of this race so far, 1:10.6 from TX. Will anyone, I think Satani is going to be the only one that could possibly get that fastest lap. So great job from Aluminium, but obviously Pazik, I've got to say, if I was to give driver of the day tonight, I would have to give it to Pazik. We thought his race was over after his spin, but he kept on going. He nursed his tyres very well. He had good EOS management. He had good tyre management for him. So I have to say, driver of the day has got to go to Pazik. So well done to him. And it's some other honourable mentions as well, but is Satani going to get the fastest lap of this Grand Prix? No. So Satani now is P13. So fair play to Burke. 21 laps on the mediums. Fair play. I wouldn't have got those mediums there as well. And we get to see the podium celebrations for the first time. So here we go. He lifts up the trophy. He's well happy with himself at the moment. And to be honest, I've enjoyed the first race commentary. We've got a German on top. And I'm looking forward to more races. Obviously, next week the next test race will be in Belgium, in Spa-Francorchamps, and I'll be commentating that. We may see a few drivers, actually. And obviously, Rage got the driver of the day in real life. In the game, actually. So, Aluminium takes the win. And just look at all these penalties. Has anyone got penalty free, I wonder? Rage quit. Only guy to remain penalty free by the looks of things. Unless I scroll down and see if anyone else. Yeah. Rage quit. The only guy not to get any penalties. So, well done to him. Any driver interviews? No, I'm not doing any driver interviews tonight. I don't usually do them for ERS, so let's go for your order quickly. So we've got Aluminium wins from Paddock, then Sig, then Burke, then Rage Quit, then TX, Set, Nixana, Black Apollo, and Josh rounds up the final points position. Then we've got Hayes Spike, single-handed. Then we've got Sed, Heidi, Skill Zone, Brian, Duxie B, and your disqualification is a tear. But it just shows a DNF though, so, you know. And Spike got P11 with a double hardware failure. Well, fair play that you still get going. Anyway, good to see. So, thank you guys for watching European Racing Series not Tier 2, Lobby 2. We will see you same time next week at 7 PM for some more European Racing Series action. Goodbye.